This is the interview of Paul R. Lehman. What branch of the military were you involved in?
I was in the 101st Airborne,
101st.
506 Parachute Infantry.
Okay. Did you have a specific job that you did there, or you were just like a normal guy that everybody else was?
Just a normal soldier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a specific rank?
I had a sergeant.
Did you enlist or were you drafted?
Well, I come up for draft, but I enlisted before they drafted me because I wanted to go in the paratroopers.
What year were you, and what year did you enlist in?
43. September 43.
Okay. When were you deployed?
When was it?
Deployed from like Millersburg, like when they shipped you out?
Oh, they when I enlisted, they sent me down to Fort Benning, Georgia. Yeah, we went through 6 weeks of training down there as paratrooper school, and then they sent us up to Boston and put us on a ship and took us over to England.
When did they send you over to England?
About a week before D-Day in France.
Okay.
Because the 101st Airborne, they were scheduled to jump in France on D-Day, and they held us in England till replacements when they come back.
Okay. What all countries did you visit?
Well, we trained in England, and then they come through one night and said that we had to pack up our equipment and stuff. We were going to go into combat. So they, middle of the night, they took us and put us on planes and flew us into the Holland invasion. And we jumped back of the German line and fought our way through.
How many battles were you involved in?
5 of them in the European theater.
Did you fight in any of the big name battles or just the Holland invasion, or?
No, our outfit was the one that was surrounded at Bastogne, Belgium. When the Germans put on their last drive to stop us, they took us into Bastogne, a town named Bastogne, where the Germans won that. There was a key crossroads of communication for them. And they put us in there, and when they put us in there, they surrounded us. And then we had to fight. We had very little food, very little supplies, stuff like that. And that's where we stopped them on their drive.
How old were you when this all took place?
How old was I?
Yeah.
Let me see. 21.
Where were you when Pearl Harbor was attacked?
You know what the date that was?
December 7th, 1941.
Year.
41.
I guess I was in high school, in high school.
Oh, wow. What was the one thing you missed most from home while you were away?
Most what?
The one thing you missed most while you were gone.
You mean battle-wise, or?
Like, from home. Like, was there somebody, or like a specific food?
Oh.
Or...
Well, they didn't give us too much time to think about anything.
Oh, really?
We were practically fighting all the time. But we missed everybody home, and our food wasn't too bad, but we could have had better food.
What was your normal day like when you woke up in the morning and a normal non-fighting day?
All fighting day?
Yeah, like when you weren't fighting, what were you doing?
Well, more over there, more or less just keeping in shape, doing exercises and stuff like that. A lot of classwork. Know what to expect.
Yeah. Was there any specific people that you kept in contact with from home while you were gone?
No.
Nobody. Did you have any close friends that were in your regiment?
Yeah, I had real close friends.
Do you keep in contact with any of them?
When I come back from the service, I went to Wisconsin and met one. And then about 3 years ago, a guy called me from Mississippi, one of my best friends.
What were the worst conditions you had to experience while you were gone?
When we were cut off and passed on, the Germans would come in this little town, just a little town, not big, and there was 5 roads coming into this town, and the Germans wanted that town real bad, and at night they would come in with tanks and drive the Americans out, another outfit. We had back in the rest area about a mile, and they called back. I was a bazooka gunner. You know what a bazooka is?
Yeah.
And they wanted bazookas up there to hold that, get that tank when it come in that night. That's all the heavy artillery we had. So I was sergeant of the squad. So 3 of us went up, 3 gunners and 3 assistants, and went up in the middle of the night. There's snow on the ground, and you could see around pretty good. And we got into that town, and he said, "Now, there's going to be a tank come in there, and they want you to try and get it." So we went in there, and I looked around, tried different positions, and there's a church right in the middle of this town. And I said to my assistant, I said, let's go in this church, because it was cold, 10 below 0. We went in this church, and I kept looking out the door, fit straight down the road. About 2 o'clock, this tank comes up, just creeping, real slow. 4 Germans looking out, looking around, and you could hear their infantry in the background saying, "Give up, you bloody Yankees, give up." They tried to get our nerves all rattled. But I looked out and I saw this tank coming. And I thought, oh, this is it. A tank and me with a bazooka. How am I going to get a tank? Coming right at me. And in training, they said, don't even try to get it from the front, because you can't get a tank from the front. You got to get around the back. I couldn't go around the back. The Germans were back there. So I said to my assistant, I said, come on, let's go around the corner of the church. And around the corner of the church. And I let this tank come just as far as close as I could stand it. They didn't know I was there, because they had trap doors were open. They were looking around. It's probably about 30 feet. I stepped out and I fired, hit him right in the front. They closed the trap doors and they backed down the road. And then the assistant, I don't think they're going to come back. He wasn't expecting artillery like that. But I was fooled. About half hour later, they come back. The trap doors were shut this time, and their turret was going right toward that church. And I thought I had it. This is my last stand. So I went out around the corner of the church again, and I waited, not as close as what it was the first time. And I fired again. And when I fired, he fired, and he hit the corner of the church, knocked the piece out, and set me back. My assistant said, here's another bazooka. So I picked that up, and I fired that, and I threw his one track off. I seen it flying. But after that second shot, he didn't fire anymore, because I walked across an open road there, the snow on the ground, lit up. There's no action in that tank. Now, there's 2 things that could have happened. My shell could have went down the barrel, or it could have hit that weak spot right where the turret goes. That's the only way I could have got it. And I'm back in the outfit, and later on, when I got home, the Belgian government sent me the Bronze Star, and a medal for holding that town.
Were those the two big awards that you got while you were over there?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you bring anything back with you when you came back from Germany?
When I come back, I brought a German 8mm rifle and a 45, not a 45, and there's a Luger, they call it a Luger, and a German knife that is like a dagger, it's had on this blade, all this for the Dutch land, with a swastika on it.
Were you wounded at all when you were over there?
Just a little shrapnel wound right here. I had a pack of letters from home in this pocket.
Uh-huh.
And a piece of shrapnel went through them and just sprayed my skin, just enough to put a little blood.
Wow. What was the most memorable moment you have from being over there?
That tank is one of the best ones that I had. And another time I keep remembering, we were fighting, going forward, and we were going on the road, and we were spread out. So you have three of my guys are on this side and three on this side. And the Germans had this road as he rode in, the artillery, and we didn't know that. And they set a barrage, screaming meanies. You don't know where they're coming from or where they're going to land. They lit right on us. All 5 of my guys got hit, but me. The other one didn't get hit.
Wow. When did you return home?
In September of 45.
So you were gone for how long?
About 18 months, I think around 18
Yeah.
months.
What was it like once you got back? Was it different for you to see everything that had happened while you were gone, or was it just like you picked up right where you left off?
It was pretty much like when I left, because it's only about a year now. It didn't change too much.
Right. And do you have any other stories for us?
I got one time we were fighting, advancing, and the British was giving us tank support, and we were going across an open field. Got the other side, it was getting dark, and there's a little creek, and it was froze over, and they told us to go over to the pine field there, woods. Told us to go over there and hold up for the night. So we was walking across the creek like it was froze. Everybody in front of me walked over the ice. When I got on the ice, I broke through up to my knees. 10 below zero in the wintertime, snow on the ground. They said, hold up for the night. Well, there I was soaking legs.
Oh my gosh.
Feet were gonna freeze. It was starting to get numb and stuff. So and across this field, there's like a real big field there, or something like big as 2 football fields.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side there was a barn burning. The Air Corps had it scraping it in the daytime, and had it burning. So I said to the guys, I said, I don't know about you fellas, but I said, I'm going over there at that fire and get dry out. I know the Germans are 500 yards up there in a fence row. They're going to shoot me, or I'm going to have frozen legs, either one. So they said, well, if you go, we're going with you. So I said, we're not going to run. We walked across that field, and it lit up, the snow in the barn, they could see us. Went over there, I took my clothes off, laid them out, dried off real good, got good and warm, put them back on, walked back across that field, waited till daylight, we started out, they opened machine gun fire on us. Now, why didn't they do that knocking over? I have no idea.
Wow.
That's how close it was.
Do you have any other things?
Well, then we left from there toward Birch's Garden, which is Hitler's summer home, and he had his eagle's nest up on top of the mountain, and we captured that place. And right after we captured that place, they gave us a report that the war was over, that don't unload your guns, because there's still snipers around. So that's where we were when the war was declared.
So you were at Hitler's summer house.
Hitler's summer place. We captured Goring, his right-hand man there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for your interview, and I guess that's it. This is a picture of his regiment, and this is a picture of him.